back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a story time, which is something I've never actually done in my channel. The story time today will be of my backstabbing best friend. I met this girl freshman year, and it was like a group of us, and she was in that group. I'm going to name her Sasha. So it was a group of Grace. These are all fake names, by the way. So it was Grace, Sasha, Carmen, Michelle, and I. We were all in the same grade or whatever, and we had a couple classes together, and we weren't close when we first met. Actually, she didn't talk to me at all, and she actually later on told me that the reason why she didn't talk to me was because she thought I was Mexican. And that within itself is like kind of harsh, because it's like, what if I was Mexican? You wouldn't have talked to me if I was Mexican. Like, what's wrong with being Mexican, you know what I mean? So I'm sorry if you're Mexican, because that's not cute. Like, I'm not gonna get into that one. She later on did talk to me, and we actually found out that we had a couple things in common. So at this point in my life, I was pretty into the whole YouTube community. Not in the sense that I made videos, because I didn't actually start making videos like how I'm making them now until very recently. She was very into YouTube, and she wanted to do YouTube at some point in her life, and so did I. And we loved beauty gurus, and we're like, oh my god, who's your favorite beauty guru? Like, you know what I mean? What really grinds my gears is that one time, this was actually what started the whole situation, and it's really not this big of a deal, but you'll see. So I was absent one day, and I don't remember why I was absent. I was just not there. And when I come back, I find out that, okay, Sasha had told Michelle that Carmen and Grace were talking about me, and that they said that my teeth were yellow. Now, Sasha got really upset about it, and at first I thought she was just being a good friend, and that it bothered her because, you know, like, I was her friend, and like, it was a big deal to her because I was her friend and she's trying to defend me, you know? But turns out Sasha was the one that was actually saying those mean things about me, and Carmen and Grace didn't say a word. So that was like the first thing she was trying to start with me, and then I guess that wasn't working, so like she had to do another tactic, right? So instead of doing that, she was actually talking about me to my face, and she would say mean things about me and like pick at my insecurities and just like nitpick certain things that I just didn't like. And it didn't bother me. I mean, it did bother me, obviously, but like I pushed it aside, and like I just didn't mind it. I just like laugh it off, because she laughed it off too. But there's certain things that she did that I really didn't like. And one time we were in gym, and she had told me that once we got downstairs, she was gonna take all my stuff out the locker, because we shared a locker. Don't even ask me why, because I do not remember, but I regret every single part of it. She told me that she was going to take everything out from my locker and like throw it on the floor, and I didn't know why. I swear she had like these random spurges of hate towards me. Like, if I probably, like, maybe if I did something that she didn't like, she would like threaten me with something. What? Like, did I do something to you? Like, I really didn't do anything to her. Like, we were cool. Like, we were all talking when she said this, and I was just like, okay. Like, I didn't actually think she was gonna do it. So then when we go downstairs, she reaches the locker room before me, and I was just taking my time because I had nothing to rush for, right? This girl was actually throwing all of my stuff, shoes, pants, shirts, whatever I had in there, she threw it out of the locker. She actually was just like throwing them all on the floor. So I was really upset with her, and I was just like yelling at her, and I was just like, what are you doing? Like, why are you doing that? And she's just like, I don't want your stuff in my locker anymore. I was like, okay. So after that happened, she apologized, and then she's like, you can put my stuff, your stuff in my locker again. And I think I did let her, like, not let her, I think I did put my stuff back in there, and I think she threatened to do it again, and at that time I had to put it all in my bag and go upstairs and, like, you know, spent the whole day with that stuff in my bag. But after that time, I had already gotten a lock, but like I didn't know how to work a combination lock, so I just didn't use it. I just took back the invitation to go share a locker. So, but at the time I already, like, after the first time I already got a lock. So after the second time I was just like, no, this chick isn't doing this to me again. So I got my own locker, and I learned how to do the combination thing, and I dealt with it. I was just like, okay, I have my own locker. I want to see you kick me out of my own locker now. And so, like, I don't know, she just didn't threaten me like that anymore, because I mean, like, what, like, you can't kick me out of my own locker now, can you? So she had to do something else. She not only talked about me with other people, but every time she was with me, she'd talk about everyone. Like, everyone. Like, literally everyone. At some point, Michelle came to me and she's like, girl, you need to not, because that's not what a friend is. Like, she's always tearing you down. I know it doesn't really affect you, or like you try to not be affected by it, but like, I know it hurts you deep down, and like, you don't deserve that. That's not what a friend is. Friends aren't supposed to tear you down. They're supposed to bring you up. They're supposed to encourage positivity, not bring negativity. So I was just like, you know, you're right. And here's another thing. I'm not sure why this happened, but for sure when we stopped being friends, it stopped. I would always fall. Like, anywhere, everywhere, all the time. With her. Usually. So I would like fall, like actually like die. Like, I was known to fall all the time for no reason at all. Why? I do not know. Like, that was the most I've ever fallen, I think, in my whole entire life, to be honest. And it was throughout the period that we were friends. Like, I'd continuously fall. Like, it was a big deal. Like, people would laugh at me. Like, it was an actual thing. And I stopped falling after I wasn't her friend anymore. So I feel like, low-key, she was bringing me bad luck, or like, I don't know. And I hate to say that about someone, especially someone that I was really close with, because it's like, wow, damn, like, ouch, you know? But like, I honestly think she was bad luck to me. Like, she was not a good person in my life. She was definitely not a good person in my life. But you know, drama doesn't leave that easily, so it gets worse. As Michelle was telling me these things, we were going down the stairs, and my school, aka my floor, because like, our school is sectioned off into floors, so each floor is a different school, and the gym was on the first floor, so we'd be allowed to go there. We'd have to go from the fourth to the basement, because that's where the locker room was, and you know, to go up to the first after we were done in the locker room to go to gym. And it was like the end of the day, and me and Michelle were walking down the stairs talking about the situation. She was just trying to like open my mind to what I deserve, and like, you know, trying to show me that that's not what a friend was. And we were going down the stairs slowly, and then we eventually made it into the locker room to go get some stuff that we needed from our lockers. And I did hear noises when we were in the staircase, but like, I didn't pay mind to it because it's a staircase and there's different floors and there's different schools in each of those floors, so it could have been anyone, you know? Like, I'm not going to be like, hey, it was Sasha. Like, it was definitely Sasha, you know? So I didn't really think much of it. But once we got into the locker room, I saw a handbag that belonged to Sasha, like, run. Like, it was obviously a whole person, but from that whole person, I saw specifically just the handbag and like the arm. And so I knew it was her, and I was like, oh, hey, you know, she's in here. Like, I was whispering to Michelle, I'm like, hey, she's in here. She's like listening to our conversation. And then Michelle didn't believe me, but like, Michelle, like, she walked back. I don't know why or what. I think she tried exiting. I didn't freaking know. But I do know that Michelle saw her that time. She's like, oh, snap, that's her. And I was like, I know. And so she was basically listening to the whole conversation. So I guess she had already, like, assumed that I didn't want to be her friend anymore. So, at some point, because of the controversy that happened where she said that Grace and Carmen were talking about me, she didn't expect me to talk to Grace anymore, or Carmen, like that. Grace had first period with me and Sasha, but Sasha would go to class really late because she like didn't care. Like, she was really like tardy. She was like not a really good student, and like she'd be really like rude to teachers like all the time. And so I'd be there early along with Grace, and so while we wait for the teacher to get there, we would talk, you would just like hang out, and we had the whole like Directioner thing in common, because we were both Directioners. We loved One Direction, so we had the whole Directioner thing in common. And so we just talk, and every single time that Sasha would come in late and see me talking to Grace, she'd get rude. And then Grace even told me, she's like, you know, if you're gonna hide the fact that you're talking to me, like, honestly, just don't talk to me, because, like, if you only talk to me when Sasha isn't around, and Sasha's around pretty much all the time. And I was like, you know what, I'm sorry, like, honestly, like, I'm really sorry, like, that was my fault. Like, you know what, I don't need to pretend like you're not my friend, or like I don't need to act a certain way when Sasha's there because of her feelings. Like, I could care less what she thinks or like how she would react, because she would get really mean. Like, she'd just not talk to me, she would just ignore me, and that salt was not needed. I didn't need no seasoning, you know? I was just like over it completely, and I was just like, you know what, we're friends, okay? I'm gonna talk to you whenever I want. You want to talk to me? Go ahead, talk to me. Don't even feel bad, because this chick is not worth it. So she talked to me, and after that, I guess Sasha just did, like, she noticed I didn't want to talk to her anymore. Like, I didn't care about her feelings anymore. Like, I didn't care what she thought. So I had these other two friends, or these other three friends, I'm sorry, not two. So it's Natalie, Ollie, and Sarah. There you go. So I had these other friends that weren't as close to me as the other girls, but they were still my friends, and we still talked like every day because we had lunch together or whatever, and we had class together as well. So those three specific friends, so Natalie, Ollie, and Sarah, were who Sasha navigated towards after we weren't really talking anymore, because my group of friends weren't really talking to her either, considering all that they've gone through with this one girl. And like, it's continuous problems. Like, there's other things that has happened with us, and we were just like over it, like, you know, like, it wasn't just that one situation. Like, it's not all about me, okay? But like, that's not my story to tell. So she tried, like, she navigated towards them, and she was like trying to be friends with them, but like, she was trying to have them not talk to me. So when I talked to them, they'd be kind of weird. It'd be like, oh, you know, like, like, you know, they were being really like sketch. Like, they were being really like they were only talking to me because they didn't want to not talk to me. Do you know what I mean? But like, they didn't want to talk to me. Like, they were acting like they didn't want to talk to me, but they were still talking to me because they didn't want to be like, bitch, bye. Like, you know what I mean? And so I was just like, oh, okay, I see what's going on. They had no problems with me whatsoever. And so I was just like, okay, well, I'm gonna tell you what Sasha said about you guys when we were friends, because she would literally tell me everything she thought about everyone, and it was just out of control. I told Natalie that Sasha said that she had no act. I told Ollie that Sasha had said that she wears clothes that don't fit her, and I told Sarah that Sasha said that she wears the same clothes every day. And it made sound like not a big deal, like, oh my god, she said what?
Oh my god, she said what?
That she wears the same clothes every day? Like, who cares, you know? But it's like it kind of bothers a girl, especially at such a young age, and you're like just finding out who you are. I thought that they deserved to know what this girl who's trying to befriend them to another level has said about them, because a true friend, a real friend, wouldn't have spoken about them like that, you know? So I told them what they said, and they were like, oh my god, Kimberly, like, thank you for telling me that. Or did they say that? I don't know. But they were like, you know, like, thanks for telling me that, because it's like, now I know. And I was like, yeah, no problem, because, you know, like, it's just fucking bad. And we were sitting at the table, and they were throwing subs to, like, her. Like, they were saying, oh, like, you know what subs are, right? They were just throwing subs at her, letting her know that they knew what she had said about them. And the next day, she sat by herself. And not really, like, at another table by herself, but, like, with one of the, like, lunch ladies. Not, like, the ones that serve food, but, like, the people that work in front of the cafeteria. I know this is just, like, my school thing, but you have to swipe your ID when you go into the cafeteria. So there's a lady there, like, watching the machine or whatever, making sure that you swipe your ID on the girl side, because it's, like, separated by, like, gender, because I don't know. So she would sit with that lady every day. I don't think it lasted forever, but for sure for a while. And I'm kind of tired. But, like, this girl does so much. She would talk about me in class. She'd be like, she wears the same shoes every day. And I was like, I turned around because I heard it, and I was just like, I was like, like, if you have a problem with my shoes, maybe you could buy me new ones, but they're not yours, they're mine, so I don't think you should have a problem with them. And like, my school was, like, every student in my class at the time, a lot of them didn't graduate with us because they started off with us freshman year, but a lot of people like they changed schools, or like they did their own thing, I don't even know. But a lot of them were really big instigators, and they were like, oh, like, you know what I mean? And I was just like, oh, children. But like, I can't. And like, she was completely rude about it, and I was just like, bitch, bye. And she caused certain fights between my friends, between Natalie and Carmen, between who else fought? Oh, Natalie also fought Sasha at some point, which was a well-deserved fight, honestly. And I think it happened more than once, but I don't know. I don't know. And Sasha, she ended up not graduating with us, and she ended up going to night school, which is an alternative school for people who need to catch up because they're behind. And I don't know if she's graduated. I haven't kept up those tabs because I don't care, but yeah. And let me see, yeah, that's basically, yeah. And like, after the whole situation, she'd do like really stupid things, like push a door in my face and like things like that, but I'd get back to her, but like, it's really like stupid child stuff. Like, it wasn't really that big of a deal. I think she treated me the less shittiest after the whole situation, to be honest. Like, I feel like she was more mean to all my other friends and like would talk about them more maybe than she did me. So I don't know why that is, but yeah, maybe she felt bad. Honestly, like, maybe she felt bad for all the things that she did to me. That was my backstabbing best friend, and she really was my best friend. Like, I invited her to my house. Like, I don't know if that's a big deal now, but like, before, that's like a big deal. Like, especially like, you met my mom, like, you know, like, that's honestly very disrespectful to treat someone like that, especially after you met their parents. Like, it's I don't know, like, I just find that, maybe I was just raised that way, I don't know, but I find that very disrespectful. I never actually met her parents, I never actually went to her house, but she went to mine. I invited her into my home, and for you to treat me like that, it was just like extremely rude in my part, like, on her part, like, honestly.